puzzle that John was trying to understand was what caused a small fire to suddenly become an inferno. On St. Valentine's Day 1981, a chair caught fire at the Stardust Disco in Dublin. In moments, the fire spread to become one of the worst fires Ireland had ever seen.
There were 200 fit, healthy young people dancing when a fire occurred in one corner. That fire grew so fast that 48 of those young people couldn't run to the exits in time and were killed.
The outcry from the public and the need for the fire service to try and understand why the fire had taken hold so quickly resulted in a major investigation for the Fire Research Station in England.
We recreated this fire in a large fire test facility at our big laboratory in Cardington. And we reproduced precisely the conditions occurred in the fire. What happened was a small fire started at the back of the hall. That fire grew slowly, involving a few seats. Some of the materials on the wall of the disco started to burn, and a layer of hot gas started to build up under the ceiling. As the materials burned, that layer of gas got thicker, and as more energy was released, it got hotter. And it reached a point where that layer was so thick and so hot that it emitted huge amounts of thermal radiation, so intense that all the materials around ignited all at once.
As the fire takes hold, the nearby plastic seats begin to decompose. A lean flashover appears to start in the smoke in the ceiling. Suddenly, an ashtray on the foreground table spontaneously ignites. The room flashes over, and the cameraman decides to make a run for it. As the fire grew, everything seemed to spontaneously combust. The experts were astonished at the speed of the fire as the experiment went out of control. The final report on the disaster focused on the flammability of the materials that had been used in the building, claiming it was the contents that had caused the problems. But for John Taylor, as a firefighter, this carefully staged reconstruction seemed wrong. It was simply too fast. By only constructing part of the room, the scientists had allowed the fire unlimited oxygen and an escape route for the smoke. A crucial piece of the puzzle on how fire developed was still missing. But in Sweden, he began to see what that piece was.
The smoke or combustible gases, whatever you want to call it, that's the stuff that's dangerous, because that's the stuff that can ignite and explode. If you want to argue the point that smoke doesn't burn, then you must get rid of this misnomer and not call it smoke anymore and call it combustible gases.